Welcome back to Gano Control Podcast. I am your host, Ronek. And before I introduce my special guest, I want to make a special announcement. I want to shout out my sponsors, Mayfresh Shop, located inside Delamo Inder Swami. Make sure to check them out for all your graffiti supplies and airbrush services. They got dope classic magazines available and a good variety of paint. So make sure to check them out. Also, I want to give a shout out to Eggshells LA Stickers. Make sure to check them out for their stickers. Eggshell provides stickers made with non-removable vinyl that binds to most surfaces. So make sure to check them out. Get quality stickers and use Gano Control to receive 10% off. And with that being said, I want to introduce my special guest, Zuco. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing good, Big Ronek.
Hey, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your time for, talking about some graph.
Yes, sir.
So let's jump right into it. Where can we start? So much history, so much to say. But let's talk about the beginning. What is home for Zuco?
Home for Zuco, South Central LA. Grew up on 50th and Central, south of downtown. So basically, to my knowledge, where South Central comes from. Central Avenue, south of downtown.
Dope. And how did the creativity start for you? So being in LA, like what kind of gravitated you to start becoming a creative individual?
So my oldest brother, he started lowriding
Okay.
in like 78 to
Okay.
like 84. And just being around the cars, being around all those paint jobs, all the custom work, and jumping around in the back seat, hitting hydraulics, and
Nice.
that started me on a path of creativeness, because I was like, wow, what are all these colors? And then moving on, I got into skateboarding.
Okay.
And so skateboarding showed me designs on the boards and the colors, and that's pretty much what got me into my creativeness, I think.
And how was skateboarding back then? Was it kind of like a rebel thing, or was it kind of like it was a hit back in that time?
Well, growing up where I grew up and having a family of gangsters,
Yeah.
because where I grew up, gangs were reign supreme.
Okay.
I was looking for an alternative, and seeing that, as an individual, you push your limits as much as you want.
Definitely.
That's kind of like what got me interested, because I was such an active kid that when I started discovering skateboarding, I just gravitated to it, man. And throughout the years, I just, day and night, day and night. I mean, I even skipped school to skate. You know what I mean? So
I know that feeling, man. I know
yeah,
that feeling.
the 8th grade, I probably never seen school, man. But because back then, middle school was like 7th through 9th.
Yeah.
You kind of automatically got pushed into the 9th grade. So it didn't matter what you did in the 8th grade,
Definitely.
And but yeah, man, skated up to like the 12th grade, which
And
was
being around gangsters, like you mentioned, um, did the gang graffiti have any influence in you, like watching the placazos and stuff like that?
it did, but because my cousins were like, you know what, you don't have to be in the gang, man. Do something else.
Okay.
It kind of like derived me from anything gangster.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this much: I did grow up with a gang mentality, but I never really like applied it to my everyday life like I did to like skateboarding and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I mean, I even went on missions with my cousins to hit up the hood.
Yeah.
But like I said, they were like, "Nah, you're not meant for this. Do something else."
And at what point does young Zuko catch his eye on graffiti and be like, damn, that's something that like I like or I want to be part of?
I would say in junior high as well, man, because
Okay.
back then in the school I went to,
Yeah.
NTS was a big thing. And
NTS?
87 N
Oh, okay.
NTS, it
Okay.
was a big thing. Um, and a lot of my classmates were bus riders.
Okay.
And that's how I started noticing tagging. And I kind of did a little tagging back then, but not as much as I did skateboarding.
Okay.
But then there was a correlation with graffiti and skateboarding.
Okay.
And I was like, what? But mostly, yeah, man. No, I knew a lot of bus riders. And through that and skateboarding to, be able to catch buses and do stuff like that,
Yeah.
I started noticing like all my buddies in my classroom, my classmates or a little younger than me, they started tagging, and I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" And
What you guys got going
yeah,
on
what you
over
guys got going on
there?
over there? And
Let me see that real quick.
yeah, so I didn't do too much in 87, 88, but I already knew about writing and graffiti and stuff.
And for you, how important was bus riding? How important was that to the culture?
It was really important because that's part of the foundations of getting up.
Yeah,
And you know, back then it was like a rebellious thing,
definitely.
where you didn't have to gangbang. It was an alternative,
Okay.
you know, and to run with boys and stuff and have a little crew.
And how was the emotion back then? Like doing the bus riding, doing something that wasn't really so accepted and it looked so down on, and to
Yeah.
be part of something like that. What was the emotion going through that process?
It felt great, man. It felt powerful,
Yeah,
because not everyone not everyone was in the little crew. So
yeah,
you kind of were like an individual, a part of something awesome that kids were like, "What the hell's going on?" But yeah, man, it spread like wildfire. And I'm gonna say I came in at towards the end of it.
okay,
I mean my perception towards the end of it because
okay,
I know there's other people that kept writing and
yeah.
like other dudes that just, kept putting it down. And
How does that make you feel being there while the LA graffiti scene was being constructed and kind of entering the construction process and then to what it's become today?
yeah, it was awesome, man, because I mean, I'm not like pioneers, I'm
Yeah,
not the pioneer of LA or anything,
yeah,
but
definitely.
seeing them and then seeing the bus graffiti and then it converting to more graffiti art.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, man. I was actually skating hardcore in those years where
okay.
the bus riding started to die out and the graffiti art started to come in hardcore.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, it was good. Like I said, everything in its steps um, is gratifying because you see it. You
definitely.
live it, and you don't understand what's going on until maybe years after
Yeah,
when they're like, "Oh, you were there, and you were there, and oh man," and then everyone
yeah,
starts to unify because we have all something in common.
definitely. And for the
Yeah.
viewers that will watch this episode that don't understand the difference between just graffiti and graffiti art, can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I guess graffiti was something where you tag, you get you start your wild style tags, and then you go into doing graffiti art pieces.
Yeah,
And back then when I was starting, man, I mean, if you went to a yard and you try to practice on someone's burner,
yeah,
they'll beat the shit out you, man. You get beat up.
yeah,
And that's the rules I grew up with. And
yeah.
and they still apply to me
To this day,
to this day, bro.
gotcha.
Yeah.
And how old was young Zuko when he told himself, "Okay, I'm gonna take this serious. I come up with a name, and I'm gonna go full force on this."
Like 17 in high school.
17.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
year
in high
was
school.
this?
I want to say 1990.
And did you always start with the name Zuko, or you started with something else?
I started with something else,
Okay.
but when I left it to pursue hardcore skateboarding
Yeah.
and I came back in 90, I
Okay.
wanted a name where hardly anybody used the letter Z, because there
Yeah.
was a bunch of M's and K's and everything else. And there was like maybe a handful of people writing with the letter Z.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to stand out.
Yeah.
So that helped me stand out because suddenly there's like Zuko, you know, like my homie Nesk and Niask, and there was a bunch of how do you say like repetitive names.
Gotcha.
But I thought it was unique for that time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And can you speak about the importance of having a yard? Like you come up with your name, and now you're going to these yards where you see these productions and massive dope pieces. How important was it to have a yard of that nature?
Um, the importance was that the yards were out there, and you know, as a young graph writer, you look up to the burners.
Yeah.
So, um, trying to hang with the new dude, I mean, with the old school dudes, being a new dude was a challenge because, I mean, everything's done under the sun. It's just the way you do it, you
Yeah.
know? So, I mean, it was important to have yards because that's where you go, you learn.
Definitely.
You learn to burn,
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to say that. And I think the first yard I prominently pieced at was one called Seventh in Santa Fe, the
Seventh.
seventh yard.
Okay, the seventh yard.
Yeah, that was early 90s.
How was the vibe in there, like going into the seventh yard?
You know what? It wasn't that bad, man, because if you were there piecing, guys that come around, OG guys and all that, they'd respect you because, they would see someone carrying the torch.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, these are new dudes. All right, man,
New generation.
let's treat them cool. But if you're doing something whack, trust me, they're gonna check you
Hey,
hardcore.
what the hell is that over there?
Yeah, or like, man, you better go back and work on your letters,
Yeah.
or work on your style because this is booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that we talk about that, what is a perfect executed graffiti piece to Zuko?
To me, it's just I'm gonna be honest, I can't even say cleanliness no more. It's just the way you execute it, like your imagination, because everyone has their own how do I say, their own style,
Yeah.
And once you perfect your own style is where it comes out.
Okay.
And then, the repetitiveness of what you do, and
Yeah.
people start recognizing it.
So you say coming into the graffiti scene late 80s, but taking it more serious in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Can you talk about a little bit about what was actually your choice of like tool? Like what was available to actually paint with?
I'm gonna say this, man. Krylon and Rust-Oleum, best paints I ever painted with.
Okay.
I mean, nowadays with the new paint, it's pretty cool, but I mean, it's just you don't know what cap fits, and
Yeah.
you don't know which can to get.
Yeah.
But back then, it was just Krylon, Rust-Oleum, fat cap, tester.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the formula.
And let's get to painting.
Yeah, and actually, man, uh, what's funny is that before, like from 90 to like 96, it was just pure spray paint. Then we discovered buff paint.
Buff.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I've done many of pieces with buff paint. And
Yeah.
not only that, it kind of saves you from the aerosol spray because you spray so much,
Yeah.
man. You're like, you get dizzy and shit. But with the buff paint, you throw down some color, add some spray paint, voila.
What are some inspirations for you as far as writers, people that you would see out there while you were, coming up?
Well, in South Central, there used to be these guys named Zios and Oxy.
Okay.
And that's kind of like where I got inspired to get my name, Zuco, because of Zios.
Okay.
Yeah. But growing up, man, my boy Method,
Method.
Mesk,
Mask.
Ain, Sinner from LTS
Center.
taught me a lot, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dope.
Just being in the movement, being in the, being in painting and going to yards, you get to meet people, and man, some of these people have, been my brothers since,
Definitely.
Yeah.
And at what point does Zuko get interested in joining a crew?
So like I said, in junior high school with when I was like in the 8th, 7th grade,
Yeah.
there was a bunch of guys from NTS, and that crew was, back then was everybody wanted to be from it,
Okay.
But in high school, after I started writing, I got accepted, and their philosophies changed. So
Okay.
that's when I was like, I'm all right with that. And my buddy Mesk,
Okay.
he was from the first wave of K4P, which was I think in 87, 88,
Okay.
89. And those guys, I don't want to say they died out, but they just, pursued different things.
Yeah.
And once Mess came back around, he brought K4P back to life and started getting a selective few,
Okay.
people he was meeting, people he was vibing with. And that's when I switched over, and I've been to K4P from 30 years plus, man.
Dang, that's a long
Yeah.
time.
Only one crew.
And how does that make you feel, bro? Like, damn, I've been down with this for what, 3 decades?
You know what, man? I love my brothers, bro. Those are my brothers. And like I don't have anything against people that join 2, 3 other crews. Hey,
Okay.
man, more power to you, That's
Yeah.
cool. But like I said earlier, I grew up with a gang mentality. And you can't be from one gang and another gang. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, us being concentrated in our neighborhoods, because everybody from the 90s in K4P is from South Central.
Okay.
You know, we all grew up knowing each other, vibing off of each other. And, you know, a lot of people also say that we're a racist crew, but that's ridiculous. You know, it's just you vibe with your people more. You get what I
Yeah.
mean? It's kind of like, for example, Crips, you know, back
Yeah.
in the 80s, there was only like one or two Latin dudes in Crips, you know,
Yeah.
but it was mostly, you know, African American brothers, you know,
Gotcha.
for sure.
And being from K4P, how was the beginnings for you? Like, how was the whole journey? Like the very beginning point for you?
For me, it was, man, it was an exciting time, bro, because we were something new
Yeah.
in the hood, you know, that people from the outside would look down upon.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So in the beginning, we were like into the graffiti art and the bombing.
Yeah.
And we decided, you know what? We're gonna put the graffiti art with the bombing. And I think that's where a lot of people found out about us, but
Yeah.
didn't know who we were
Okay.
because you know, we never really went to like Hollywood or, you know, I mean, we went to Hollywood to bomb, but
Yeah.
we didn't know the social strategy of it. Meaning like
Gotcha.
CBS was with LOD and all
Yeah.
this and that, and they all knew each other. UTIs knew each other, and
Yeah.
everyone knew each other, but we didn't know anyone.
And how was the acceptance from other crews? Like when they started seeing K4P around LA, how was their reaction?
Actually, when we came around to I'm gonna tell you, there was a show in like at Raleigh Studios, like
Okay.
in the early 90s. Started meeting people and they were like, oh my God, that's you guys? Damn, you guys are down, you know,
Yeah.
props. Because we also have this rooftop off the 10 freeway that
Okay.
we've held down since 92.
To this day,
To
still there.
this day still, man.
Damn, that's nice.
And you know, we've gone through trials and tribulations over it, but yeah,
Yeah.
we come out on top because that's actually situated on the edge of our neighborhood.
Okay.
And not saying it in a gang way, but you know, our neighborhood where we grew up.
The pride for where you come from.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. And at what point do you guys start going hard on the freeway?
I would say like in 92.
In 92?
92. We just would, you know, nowadays I hear people go bombing at like 9:30 at night and stuff. I
Yeah.
was like, what? We used to start like at 12 and go
Okay.
through like 4 or 5 in the morning, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because that's when like the streets are empty, you know.
How was that, bro? Out there like 2, 3 in the morning, just bombing the freeway, getting up.
On the freeway it was a lot simpler,
Yeah.
but on the streets, yeah, we've been chased many a night,
Yeah.
shot at, gangbangers rolling up. Hey, homie, you in my neighborhood, you know.
What are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, dog? But you know, us growing up around gangsters, we kind of knew what to do, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we already like, oh man, you know what? We don't, no disrespect to your hood, homie. Here's a can, you know. Or,
Yeah.
here's a joint or
Well,
something. You know?
what color you want? Get a color.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all love here.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And you know, to be honest, that would change the attitude, man. They'll be like, oh yeah, homie, all right, kick down. That's it,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Because what year were we talking that this was going on?
Man, 90 I'm telling you, like 92, 93, 94, 95. And then like in 96, actually there was a little hiatus
Okay.
because, you know, I mean, you only live so long with your parents. So, you know, the grown-up shit
Yeah.
kicks in, you know? But you know, finding our way through our economic boundaries, we still kept going, you know, and to this day.
What did mom and dad say when they found out their son was a writer? Or did they ever find out?
Actually, well, you know, my mom and dad are like they never spoke English, only Spanish.
Okay.
So,
¿Qué es eso?
yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, man. After a while, my mom kind of like, because I come from a family where there's like 2, 3 artists in the family.
Okay.
So it kind of runs in our family in a way. And then one time I did my mom's name for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And she was all happy, dog. So, you know, yeah, especially like the wall that I did it at, excuse me, was at a mini market that some people from the pueblo where we're from
Okay.
owned. So she was happy that they let me paint. Aside from that, her name was on there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was like, that's
yeah, that's my, yeah. And she was all happy and shit.
And you know, the freeway stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you guys kind of like got together and planned? Like, all right, we're gonna hit these figures heavy, or did it just genuinely started
Yeah,
happening?
man. If you I'm not sure, but like between, I guess I want to say 93 to like 98, 97, the if you go between the 110 and I want to say the 710
Yeah,
on the 10 freeway,
yeah,
I always see a K4P bomb.
yeah.
Yeah, we were hardcore on that freeway. That used to be
Nice.
our freeway, quote unquote. Huh? Yeah,
No, that's dope, man. And
yeah.
did you guys ever take part in any graffiti battles?
We battled in the beginning, a couple crews, and to this day, I'm sure they'll say, "Nah, we didn't do it," but that's only because they lost. But after that whole decade of the '90s passed, everyone just became friends. Like, yeah, whatever.
How important was the battering back then though? Was it something like that would kind of like squash problems or
Yeah, it was squash them because you know, egos will get squashed.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, you thought you were hard, huh? But look at us now. Yeah. So,
Out of all the battles you've been part of, which one you say kind of stands out a little bit to you? Kind of like a memorial thing, like damn, yeah, we did that.
well, uh, maybe not. I don't want to I don't want to open any kind of
Nah,
worms.
I
You know what I
understand. Yeah,
mean?
I get
But
you.
they know who they are. They know who they are. A lot of people, they want to deny it or, oh, I don't remember, but
Yeah.
you remember, bro. You know?
Would you say it's still important to have battles like in this day in the graffiti world, or do you think it's kind of something in the past?
Man, I wish them battles would come back, bro. Because, a lot of kids nowadays, like that conversation we was having earlier, they
Yeah.
don't know their history, man.
Yeah.
They don't realize that um competition is healthy. It's
Definitely.
it's healthy
In any sport.
in any sport, bro. That's what sports are.
Yeah. That's how you
And
get
like
better.
people say, graffiti is an individual sport.
Yeah. It's like
Just
if
like
you go play a football game and you're always winning, then
yeah,
it
like
doesn't
yeah,
you get too
like what's the
comfortable.
point? Yeah, yeah. But after a while, man, it's not that it gets boring because honestly, for me, painting is like my therapy now.
Yeah.
So, but I'm totally all for it,
Yeah.
and we should have some sort of competition league, if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. If
Yeah.
there's anything, or because I have friends that, man, they're dying to battle people, but
Nobody
they
wants
don't
to
want to
battle.
call, they don't want to like be a problem causer. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they don't want to call people out thinking like, oh, I'm bad. It's just I don't know, man, but there should be more battles, bro.
I definitely agree. I mean, maybe we could put something together in the future, but that'd be dope to have.
Actually, at my K4P meetings just recently, we had a throw up battle against each other.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of like puts our own crew members on check. You get what I'm saying? Not to say on check, but it kind of like solidifies like, hey, you know what? I got you, motherfucker. you know, talking all that shit. I actually battled my homie Coke and he beat me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thinking I was hard. I'm like, I'm gonna get you. Yeah,
How
unfortunately.
important do you think developing a hand style is when it comes to becoming a graffiti writer? Do you take a lot of pride on your hand style?
I do because it took me a long time, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you right now, I credit my homie Method from
Okay.
K4P
Shout out Method.
uh, for giving me my hand style because that guy's hand style is hands down one of the best
Yeah.
in my eyes, aside from my boy Cray and my
Okay.
boy Pranks.
Yeah.
Method is one of the originators in my eyes because he taught me how to tag.
Gave you the hand
He
style
gave
and
me my
information.
hashtag I have right now. Yeah, and dude, trust me, I can't do it like him, but I
Yeah.
practiced it to make it my own.
That's dope though.
Yeah, for sure.
And would it be fair to say that you had a mentor throughout your journey or no?
I've had a couple mentors.
Yeah.
Um,
How important was that having a mentor?
very important because um, you can learn and find out on your own, but when someone shows you
Yeah.
how to do it,
Yeah.
or if they give you an idea to make your creativeness expand, that that's everything, bro. And I could tell you right now, my style is excuse me, part mask, part center, part method, um, part hex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because part tempt.
You took a little bit of it,
Took a little
what they
bit
were
out of
showing
all
you.
those guys. Yep.
And talking about those guys, did you have opportunity to visit Belmont Tunnel?
Oh yeah, I painted there.
Yeah.
Painted there like, I mean, 3-4 years straight.
How was it for you there? How was like the whole process of being at the Belmont Tunnel and painting?
It was awesome, man. The handball dudes,
Yeah.
like the old Aztec game. That was awesome. We used to always watch those guys. Also got jacked by the
Really?
headhunters
Oh
because
wow.
headhunters neighborhood is right up the hill.
Yeah.
Got straps pulled out on us.
All at Belmont Tunnel?
Yeah, man.
Oh
Actually, one of my buddies
yeah.
took a strap for one of the dudes and used it against him while he was trying to jack us, and he beat him
Yeah.
up. And it was just, man, Belmont was an adventure, but I'll tell you right now, I miss that place.
Yeah.
Man, there's no place like home. Fucking
Yeah.
Dorothy shit. Yeah, Belmont was the shit, man.
For those who don't understand like what Belmont Tunnel was or have any idea, can you get a little bit into detail of like
Let me
the
tell you right now, Belmont Tunnel was the country club of graffiti writers, homie.
nice? Yeah.
Straight up, because you go there, it'd be guys selling beer on the side. They sell, food. You
Yeah.
could buy food. You could buy beer. Fucking sports entertainment.
Yeah.
You're piecing. The whole vibe, man, was super awesome, dog. I mean, aside from all the troublemaking and all
Yeah.
that, but man, above that, like I said, bro, like Dorothy, no place like home.
You think if they would have never built those apartment complexes where it's at, you think it would have still been there to this day?
I want to say it would have been turned into something that another guy that I was working with was trying to convert it into the Belmont Park.
Oh, okay.
Like, oh, excuse me, Belmont Art Park.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were trying to convert it into something where the kids would have somewhere to paint like the Venice Art Walls.
Yeah.
Same guy that started the Venice Art Walls is trying to convert it into the Belmont Art Park.
And unfortunately it didn't happen.
Didn't happen, man. Money took over.
Man, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Coming up in in LA, you said late 80s, early 90s in graffiti.
Mm.
Did New York graffiti have any impact on you?
The only impact that graffiti from New York had on us was that the Star Wars movie,
Okay.
Subway Art,
Yeah.
and then I got to see a couple of videos,
Okay.
but then after that, we just kind of looked within our own world. You know
Just
what I
building
mean?
your own
Yeah,
thing.
like seeing guys from K2S,
Yeah.
growing up, SMD,
Yeah.
all those guys going to the yards and seeing pieces by AWR, the first wave of
Yeah.
AWR. Like that kind of is what fueled us, you know,
Gotcha.
like in competition. It fueled us to paint more,
Yeah.
try more styles, try different things. Um, but one thing I will say about K4P is that no matter who had the idea, we all pitched in. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, I did that big bomb.
It was like an army and every soldier
And
did
an
his
army
part.
and every soldier did his part, bro. Straight up. That's how I think we stood above a lot of other people,
Okay. And did you ever have a chance to meet one of the graffiti writers? I mean, from New York, because I know some will come down and visit LA.
Yeah. In the early 90s, um, no.
Okay.
No, because we like I said, we weren't sociable like that.
Yeah.
So we didn't know a lot of people.
Okay.
Um, but we did receive like praise from other people.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you guys are the K4Ps. Wow, bro. We didn't know that. We didn't know who you guys were,
Nice to meet you guys. That's nice. And
Yeah.
coming from an era where graffiti didn't have the internet yet, was it hard to adjust when the internet started hitting? Like when it started becoming a thing?
No, because actually K4P, like I said, was never a social crew. So we just kept painting, painting, painting. And then when Temp started big time,
Okay.
that's when we started getting a lot of recognition. And
Okay.
people are like, oh, okay. And yeah, it was just, through magazines
Yeah.
that before the internet
Yeah.
was how we got our
Distribution. Yeah.
newspapers, like, oh, look at these dudes are doing this,
Because now, I mean, you could just go on Instagram and it's like you're worldwide just posting a picture.
But I'm gonna be honest, that those magazines you put up at the beginning,
Yeah.
that to me is still golden.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I still develop pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have hard copies. I do all that, man, because that's how I grew up.
Yeah.
You know.
You would have to go and catch the picture, print it,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff.
Like I've seen some of your previous interviews, and we're the same way. Just go explore, man. And like since we skated, we
Yeah.
really didn't need no buses. We just pedal our asses around LA, big dog.
Hey, we're gonna go check out this piece once
Yeah.
roll.
Yeah,
And
or
boom.
we're gonna go to the Belmont to go take pictures. No matter, we didn't say, oh, this person's there, that person's there.
Yeah.
We just get there and whatever was there, pink, pink, pink.
Do you think the involvement of technology that put graffiti to where it is today, do you think that's something that kind of helped graffiti in a way? Kind of like we don't gotta go fetch the picture now; we could just go and watch it on the website. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Um, I don't want to say it's a bad thing because it's still giving graffiti its due,
Yeah.
but it's a bad thing because you don't explore the city like you used to.
Okay.
You ask kids like, "Hey man, you been to Southgate?" Like, nah, I don't even know where that's at.
What is that?
Yeah.
Is that a
Or
restaurant?
yeah, you been to West LA? They're like, "Oh yeah, I've been to Western in Pico."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think a lot of exploring got put down,
Yeah.
and now it's like safer to get your graffiti
Yeah. And
pictures and stuff.
it's more accepted now. Not like before they look at you like, "Hey, what the hell you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, everyone has their own generation of their own writing.
Yeah.
But I think the generation that I grew up was more involved,
Okay.
meaning like, bus lines, people knew bus lines by heart, like, oh, I'm gonna take the 53 all the way over here, and then we switch on to the 12, and
Yeah.
and it's just a lot more exploring got terminated.
And now that we get into that, how do you feel about the current state of graffiti 2023?
Um, man, now I pay attention to me and my crew. I do see a lot of, I'm not naive to it because I'm a fan before a writer,
Yeah.
But the state of it, I guess, is alive and kicking, bro.
Yeah.
Even though there's a lot of people doing some weird stuff,
Mm-hmm.
they're doing it. And
Gotcha.
that's the point. The act of doing it is what matters, man.
And how do you feel about the graffiti style? Do you think it's something that's gonna be alive in the next 100 years?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I mean it's progressing
Yeah.
and advancing, and there's new styles coming up all the time.
Yeah.
And like like I said earlier, everything under the sun's been done, but it's just the way you do it.
Definitely.
So, I give props to everybody that's painting. Like I used to tell my buddies, man, I roll with niggas that paint, I don't roll with posers, kid,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Nah, definitely. You being a fan of graffiti and being part of the world of graffiti, how was it accepting the street art movement when it entered and kind of clashed with the graffiti world?
Well, I mean, the thing is, see, I'm from South Central.
Yeah.
So all these street artists, they were more like Hollywood,
Okay.
or they were more like, South Central was so down looked upon that it's like we didn't get street art when
Yeah.
it came out.
Okay.
We just started getting street art maybe like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Now there's a nacho murals on like Jefferson and San Pedro where that's like Clanton hood,
Yeah.
So I mean I don't hate on it,
Okay.
more power to you. It's kind of like murals, man. Like I've said it before, and I haven't really been outspoken about it, but I wouldn't ever touch a mural
Okay.
because, like I said, I know what it takes to get that mural, and it's hard work, man.
Yeah,
It's not
definitely.
easy.
Yeah, because some would debate that they should pay some type of respect to the graffiti writer. One, for them using the graffiti can as one of their main mediums, and that kind of is something that the graffiti writer introduced to the world in a way.
Mhm.
So some would debate that, and that's why I just asked your opinion on it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, man. I mean, It's all good, man. Like even if you use paintbrushes, like I said, I use buff paint, and
Yeah.
that's a roller, you know. But hey, now rollers are accepted.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, definitely. You see, I'm all over now.
all over, bro.
Big old roll.
Blocks and everything. Yeah, yeah. So I don't knock it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever way you want to get up, as long as you're up and as long as you're respecting the culture, more power to you, brother.
What would Zuko tell that one guy or individual that says, you know what, I'm gonna get into graffiti today? What do you say to that guy?
Um,
Or woman?
get ready to go to jail, bro. Because that's probably the only downfall there is to it.
Yeah,
You know, other than, I mean, rest in peace to all the writers that have passed on.
definitely.
And hey, I've been jumped before.
Yeah.
You go through it.
You go through every
But
emotion.
every emotion, bro. But jail is the worst, man, because you're confined. You have four solid walls. All your creativeness kind of leaves you, bro.
Yeah.
Gotta wait till commissary comes around, fucking
Yeah.
order a pencil and a paper.
How is
And
it
you
though?
gotta
Like
buy
being
that.
in there, like do you kind of like address yourself as a graffiti writer, or are you just kind of like minding your own business?
Minding my own business, but there's so many politics in jail that
Yeah.
you gotta run with something, you know.
Okay.
And once you run with it, you gotta stick with it and just follow the routine, bro, and you'll survive.
And taking a small step back,
Mhm.
being from K4P and having your brothers and being a big family for the amount of time you've been, how is it, keeping everybody like, all right, we're all a family? Because brothers always bump heads.
Yeah.
Family members always have arguments.
Oh man, I'm in an argument right now with one of my brothers, man. But I'll tell you right now, bro. That's it. When you get in K4P, we well, there's some couple, with the exception of a couple of dudes that were grandfathered in, I guess you want to say.
Okay.
We're like, dude, once you join this crew, it's the only crew you could be from
Yeah.
because it just builds a stronger bond, you know.
Yeah.
Um, you get to know everyone's parents.
Yeah.
You go to their pad. And like I said, man, we're all pretty much Latin. So there's my brother, one of my brothers my brothers, three of my brothers are Salvadorian.
Yeah.
We got a brother from Ecuador, from Mexico. But the point is, everybody knows what a quinceañera is.
Yeah.
When you come to a bautismo, you know what time it is.
Yeah.
So there's no weird stuff. And um, but definitely we look out for each other like brothers, man.
Definitely.
Like, if one of my buddies needs a loan, fuck it, here, bro. I know where you live.
How do you deal with situations where, like, for example, one of your brothers is asked to be part of another family, and it's kind of like not sitting? There's something going on there. Like, is that
um,
something that gets addressed immediately, or
yes,
okay,
yes. Usually, what happens is before they get in, we kind of solidify that if you're gonna be down with K4P, this is the only crew you're gonna represent
okay,
because one represents us all.
definitely,
you know? And it's been so far it's been great, man.
awesome,
We
man.
haven't any issues we've had, we group together,
Yeah.
talk about it, and resolve it. And luckily to this day we're still around.
And where is home from K4P? Like, where do you say K4P originally formed at?
I'll say our South Central, because a lot of people say South Central.
Yeah.
I would say basically like from Figueroa to Washington to Compton Avenue to Slauson.
Okay.
That's the hub right there. That's the original, where the original ones
Okay.
of the '90s came from.
Yeah.
Because the original K4P actually started, I think, out in Southgate.
Okay.
And one of my brothers from the original K4P is from East LA, named Worry,
Okay.
and he's one of the original guys.
Awesome.
So, but when Mess started the second wave,
Yeah.
that's where we came out of 28th and Maple, because that's
28.
where he used to live.
Yeah.
And that's where we used to have our first kind of walls
Okay.
that we always painted. And yeah, and then we all, spread. Like I grew up off of Central, so did Method, so did Pranks. My homie C's, rest in peace, grew up off of Compton.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so, that whole area was pretty much super gang infested.
Okay.
But because we were an alternative,
Yeah.
um, that's where we started painting, man.
I know you mentioned some of your brothers from your family
Mhm.
are part of some well-known streetwear brands, which I don't want to say names, just to not mention names.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
But how does that make you feel knowing that you're part of something that keeps to grow and keeps to be successful?
Um, I'm super proud of my brothers, man, because you know, to start something like that is a lot of hard work, bro. A
Yeah.
lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
And because of the family support, it has grown to what it is, you know.
Yeah.
And we don't take credit or anything, but we know when one of our brothers wants to do something, we fucking support it, bro.
Definitely.
Hardcore.
Almost like supporting your own son or daughter
Yeah, yeah.
that
You
want to do
like
something. You
like your
gotta.
brother, man.
Yeah.
Like your brother wants to join a football team.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck it, let's practice doing the football, and
Yeah.
like you
Let me go get
practice.
my jersey with
Yeah,
your name in the bag. Let's get
yeah.
to
Let's get to it. And that's how we do it, man. But not to take anything from my buddies that started and dedicated themselves because they did it on their own.
Yeah.
But you can't do anything without support,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. And jumping back into the topic, um, how important is it developing can control? Because I feel like a lot of people forget, like, in order to get good, you got to develop, some good can control.
That's important, bro. Yeah, yeah. Man, it's years of practice.
Yeah.
Um, in my situation, if I would have never bombed,
Yeah.
I would have never got can control because under pressure, you gotta hit everything on point,
Okay.
and practice a lot.
Keep
I can't
sprays.
tell you, man, how many spray cans I threw away. And I don't know if anyone's ever said this, but I'm gonna say it. I used to practice on a board and just do straight lines, up
Yeah.
and down, like
Yeah.
thousands, man. And that helped me control the can. But can control comes from bombing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a question that I like to ask, bro, when Zuko's gone, what do you want the world of graffiti to remember Zuko for?
Dedication, man. One crew, K4P. Let's go, baby.
The dedication.
Yeah, dedication, man. Because if you're not dedicated, I don't know what you are, bro.
You
You
gotta
gotta be.
you gotta really want to really
Yeah,
be
you
out
gotta
there
be out
and
there,
put the footwork.
man. I just, I did like a wall with my brothers, man, recently. That's like, I'm not gonna front on you, bro. Like 60 feet wide by 20 feet
Oh,
high,
that's a big wall.
and man, the dedication it takes to get the egos together,
Yeah.
to buff the wall,
Yeah.
to be there, build the scaffold and build it, take it back home, load it, unload it. Man, it's hard work, bro. But you know what? Every second well worth it because at the end of the day, it shows unity,
Yeah.
and that's what I promote. I promote unity with my brothers and other crews, man. Because we don't really have any beef with other crews, man. We
Okay.
show mad love because they show mad love to us.
And that's dope, man, that everybody could come together and get along where you could call another crew and be like, hey, you want to come out and paint?
Yeah.
Let's get together. And that's something I think would be dope to happen. You see multiple crews, just one big barbecue, everybody paint, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I've actually had some barbecues on my pad with
Yeah.
like the LTS KOG crew,
Yeah.
because in a way they're kind of like us, coming from the bottom, get to the top, and we had a lot of similarities as far
Yeah.
as like crew members and stuff, and we just got along. That was it.
Is there a memory that maybe you could share? I mean, nothing specific, but something that always sits with you like, damn, it's crazy, like throughout your whole journey.
A memory doing the rooftop, the K4P rooftop in 2010 with a Zapatista. Did you
Okay.
ever see that?
I think I seen a picture of it.
Yeah, yeah. So that one was a turning point in my graffiti career because the attention it got, it drove. I was like, what? I was like, wow, man, that's cool. A
Yeah.
lot of people enjoy that. And a lot of people thought it was like a ninja, but it was actually a Zapatista throwing up four fingers
Yeah.
for K4P. Now, see, that again comes from our influence of gang. You
Yeah.
know, you throw a sign, it's cuatro.
And
So
how a little bit, not to mention too much of it, but just
mm,
hopping a little into it. How did gangs take it? Kind of seeing you guys like, oh, these guys are graffiti writers. They're not gangbangers.
yeah, honestly, man, they gave us they some gangs gave
Yeah.
us respect
Okay.
because they saw that we weren't trying to like sell drugs and get money. They saw that we were the artistic part of it.
Yeah.
And even they were giving us props like, "Oh, we know who you guys are."
Okay.
Because I mean, gangs are in the street all day.
And we heard of you guys.
Yeah, yeah. And
Because for me personally, I remember going through those emotions, and I was like, "The hell, this guy knows who I am. Or he
yeah,
knows what I got
yeah,
going on. What's
yeah.
going on right here?"
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, all the guys from around our neighborhood, even though the older gangsters gave us our respect,
Yeah.
the younger ones kind of they were a little like, nah, you guys are fucking whack and this and that. So that's when we would get problems. But no, man, the majority of the gangs, they understood what we stood for,
Yeah.
and they saw the pieces we were doing, and what I call, I guess I don't know if I made this up, but
Color harmony.
color harmony
Okay.
changes people's perspectives on how they feel about what you're doing.
And by color harmony, you mean?
Meaning like color schemes,
Okay. Okay.
And then when you mix match colors that don't have anything to do with each other and they harmonize together and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, that does look fresh,
Yeah.
They
And
they yeah.
speaking of color harmony, 2023, we got hundreds of options when it comes to go buy something to paint
Yeah.
with. What is your go-to? Like, what is Zuko like to go grab and for some action?
Um Off paint.
Off paint?
Yeah, or because back if this interview were being conducted in '95, it'd be like Krylon, Rusto. But now there's so many paint cans, man. It's
Like,
like
what is your to go-to can? Like, do you have a preference or you just use
mm,
whatever?
I pretty much it, it's like how do you say it's not the tool, it's who uses it,
I like that. That's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, if you only have paintbrushes and they tell you to do a piece, I bet you do a piece with a
They
paintbrush.
give you a crayon art, bro.
Yeah, crayons on a paper. Like, let me see what you could do. Oh, give me that shit.
Pass it out real quick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's unlimitless with the
Yeah.
tools. But I guess if you want to say spray paint, I do like Belton Molotov.
Okay.
They got some really nice paint, man.
I've been hearing negativity because they say they changed their formula
Possibly,
and that the new formula is not working out. I haven't had a chance to taste the new formula,
Yeah,
but I've used the old one. The old one's amazing.
yeah,
But
yeah,
maybe on the next episode I could talk about.
yeah, man. But I guess the black and whites from what's that? Loop.
Loop.
Yeah,
Okay.
Loop's pretty good. I like
Nice.
Loop. And what is this other paint?
I'm telling you, man. There's so many. You be right there.
I know I can't think.
I
of
don't want to
it.
say a name, and everyone's gonna be like, "What is that?"
Did you ever buy paint from Anger?
The Cobra.
Cobra.
Yeah.
Cobra's good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I used to like Cobra, but
Yeah.
I haven't found it anymore. So
Yeah. I haven't seen it no more, but the times I've got it, I mean, it was good
yeah,
paint.
it's good paint, man. Cobra's good paint too.
It comes with a little stock tip. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like Cobra.
Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to, brother, before we get up on out of here?
I want to shout out my crew, man, straight up. That's been down with me and that supported me throughout the years. Pranks for making Streetwise,
Shout out Pranks.
and pretty much, man. I mean, and everybody in the graph community, man.
Awesome, man. I
Yeah.
wanna thank you for stopping by and giving me the time of your day to talk about graffiti and get a little bit back into your history of who Zuko is.
Yeah, thank you, Ronek.
Anytime, brother. My door's always open. And make sure to like and subscribe. And also make sure to check out Eggshells LA for some really quality good stickers and Mayfresh Shop. And with that being said, I'm out. Till next time. Peace.